parents, hi teachers, hi kids. Sara and Donna here from Rainbow Resource Center, and we work with homeschooling families. And even homeschooling families are feeling the strain of having to stay home.
Can't get to their co-ops, can't get to charter classes. Everybody is in this together.
And believe it or not, homeschoolers don't always stay home.
Oh goodness, no.
They're busy folks too.
Yes.
So we have put together some materials because, Rainbow sells curriculum to homeschoolers. We also sell games and toys and physical stuff and art supplies and balls and, really fun things that you could totally do right now. But we thought it'd be most helpful to assemble some supplemental materials to really enrich what your teachers are giving you at home and to make it a little easier for parents to maybe supplement what they're being given.
Exactly.
with some just, things maybe you haven't thought of. And one of those, we're talking about science in this one. One thing you maybe haven't thought of with science is it's not all Pinterest, Mentos and Diet Coke. There's a lot more to it. And one thing you might be surprised to find is that there's a lot of reading to do about science. And Donna's got some cool things.
Well, reading is the foundation for all of your subjects, because if you can't read, I don't know exactly how you're going to get the information. And we're talking about kids who are readers. So these are just some science reader series that we get from some of our different publishers. And this one is the Let's Read and Find Out library from Harper. And it's like, let's learn about fireflies in the night. These are things that kids are going to encounter on a daily basis. It's real world science.
Relatable. Yeah.
Feel the wind. Yes, you can still walk out in your yard and feel the wind. That's allowed if it's not raining or snowing. The air all around you, kids wonder about what they're breathing in. Dinosaur tracks, a little harder to check out, but
Imagination.
And what's really here, dinosaurs are different. And here we have energy. It makes things happen. And so these aren't just about their reading. They've got some great pictures in them that the kids, that it kind of engages the kids a little bit more because they look like kids like them. And it's written in a format and in a language that makes sense to kids.
Stage
so very
one, stage
age appropriate. Exactly. That's one series. Then there's the one that's a little more
Science,
like topic-ish.
looking.
These are the DK readers. I love to recommend these to all types of people, especially if you have someone who likes to read on specific topics. These are very topical. So here you have frogs and toads. Here you have frozen worlds. Anything, what lives in a frozen world? And you
Besides
can see,
Elsa.
Yeah, exactly.
You've probably
And
watched enough of that.
here we have penguins. And did you know penguins don't always live in cold areas? Spaceships and rockets and stars and galaxies, but these are all leveled readers. This is a level 2. I think these come in 4 levels. So you pick the level, and if you're not sure what level your child would be, you can go to the website, and there are actually grade levels on each series. But these are great to enhance, or especially if you have that kid who's really interested in one specific topic.
And since we're not able to go to the library right
Exactly.
now, build your home library and get that going.
And leveled readers are not horribly expensive.
No, they're like $5 or
Or
under.
less, yeah.
Yeah, they're really inexpensive. I have something cool for a little bit older student. These are Graphic Library Max Axiom comic books. But they don't say comic books. They say graphic novels.
Graphic novels.
Yeah. So Max Axiom is our hero, and this adventure is on sound. And check out the look. They're super exciting. They're talking about dolphins and their sonar. Here's one with cell phone technology.
Oh, goodness.
Wow, talk about modern science topics.
These are a little more techy than the ones I was showing you.
Yeah, we just jumped up about 5 levels. But the reading level is still probably that, 4th, 5th, 6th, middle schooly. Combustion engine, interesting. Magnets, magnetism. Cell life. So you've got some life science, some physical science, and it's just a cool option. These are the kind of books kids are going to read again and again, probably see something different every time. So you could also approach this reading and go topical, and you could do a study of something.
Okay.
So go ahead.
Okay, I have nature. Keeping a nature journal. This is Wonders of Nature sketchbook, you can still get outside.
It's okay.
It's okay. If you're in an area where the weather accommodates you, you can go outside, go for a nature walk. It is that time of year where things are budding and blooming and all kinds of new growth. And this actually tells you how to keep a nature journal. It gives you a lot of really good information how to create your own nature journal.
So some formatting is already done for you.
Exactly.
So you don't, as a parent, you don't have to plan this out. The book is teaching your student.
And then this is the Wonders of Nature sketchbook. They actually show you how to draw some of the things that you see.
Like a chipmunk or a hummingbird.
And like they give you drawing tips, and then they show you, like, here's a hummingbird, like Sarah just said. And so they teach you how to draw. So when you see these things, draw them, sketch them into your nature journal that you've just learned how to do.
They would go really nice
here.
together. Yeah.
Exactly. And there are other nature journals that you can buy that tell you exactly what to look for.
Yeah, or get a blank one. But I like that these were templated to show you how a nature journal works. You could also just do a focused study on something your kids are interested, or maybe it's something that was in the material the teacher sent home that you've got a curious kiddo. Do you mind holding that one for me? That they want to investigate more deeply. So here's a coloring book of constellations, activity book and coloring book. And some dot to dots here, just some different interesting things. This is a pocket star finder.
I absolutely love star finders. When I used to teach science, I had a template for my kids to make a star finder, but you can get these. This is a small one. You can get the larger ones. They show you where to look in the night sky. So you go out and you set it for the date on here. So today is March. And so you go to the month and you put your arrow on the day approximately and look to the night sky, and you'll be able to see whatever is showing in that finder.
I think you can tell that Donna was a science teacher.
We had a lot of fun with these, and we would go out at night, and this is something you can do.
Yeah.
Take your star finder and stand in the backyard and just look up at the night sky on a clear night. Cooler weather, the stars are clearer. But just any time of year is a good time to stargaze.
This just gives you an idea of the variety. So you have something with text, some information, some activity book, and then something to do, some type of little experiment to bring in some science fun.
Recommended.
Yep, we like it. We like it. Speaking of experiments, we've got some kits.
I have all kinds over here. Before I touch them.
Yeah, okay, I'll do it
Okay,
too.
so for the younger crowd, you have the Clifford. The Clifford series. Yes, this is based on Clifford, the big red dog. And so what you get in these are for the younger crowd. These are for 3 and up, which you don't typically find a science kit for a 3 and up. But this one is bubble science. So all kinds of fun little things that you can do with a young child. They don't have to be able to read to do this. These are parent guided. And so you get a little guide in there that has Clifford's face all over it. I was going to look and see if I could open it. Here we go. Bubbles, bubble wand.
Yeah.
And if you look underneath, you have more supplies, and you have a Clifford book. That Clifford book is actually your guide to doing some of the activities in here. And I don't know about you, I haven't met anybody who doesn't like Clifford the dog. And these are topical. These are something different themes you can use, and even though it's for the younger crowd, some of your like early elementary kids,
they're gonna think
they're gonna
cool.
love this.
Now, real quick, Donna, that does not look complicated.
Oh,
yes,
goodness,
you could just go buy bubbles, but we're talking about expanding a little bit further, bringing a little more of the science out of it. So doing bubbles outside as an activity is one thing. Bringing the science out of bubbles, how do you hold that air in suspension, takes it just a little step further.
Exactly.
Making it more of a
And
lesson.
Clifford guides you through the facts in an age-appropriate manner to help kids understand what they're doing here. Why am I doing this? What makes it do what it does? And the guide that's in there will help mom and dad answer all those questions, because we all know kids have way too many questions sometimes.
Save you Googling surface tension.
Yeah, there you go. So the guide is super helpful that comes in that kit. Now, for your older ones, this is an engineering bus. If you're familiar with the Magic School Bus,
Miss
which
Frizzle.
that is one of the book series we didn't
Yep.
talk about, but the book series is still available with Miss Frizzle leading the way. And a lot of you probably grew up with Miss
You
Frizzle.
kind of are Miss Frizzle.
I blew up a few things in my lifetime. But it looks like the Magic School Bus, and if you look at the pictures, it's the kids from the
kids.
stories, and there's Miss Frizzle in the front. But
With
you're going to
Liz.
get a data notebook, because as you get older, you are supposed to write down what you discover. With the experiments, you have trays of materials here. You have more materials in the hood of the bus, and you have a guide that's going to take you through all of the experiments. There are activity cards that take you through the experiments. Like I said, this one's engineering, but I know there's one for chemistry.
lot of themes
There's a
to
lot
them.
of different ones. These have a lot more information and a lot more material in them than like a smaller kit would have.
Okay.
But these are a great enhancement for, let's say you're studying, maybe STEM is a big push for you. This is a good
And how do parents do that at home?
Exactly. You get a kit to
Right.
help you out, especially if you're not used to it.
Make it easy on y'all.
Exactly. I agree.
Okay. Something else that's kind of a hands-on thing for the big kids. These are 4D models. Now, okay, not everybody is as sciencey as Donna. I don't want to do dissections of any kind, but I am more than willing to check out how these things work, how these different parts work. I don't want to cut one open, but I'll look at a plastic one all day long. And they're not huge, so very manageable, but these are things that are going to grow with your kids, and they're going to refer to this, my gosh, year to year in their science classes.
Well, the thing is, you can show them a picture in a book of some of this stuff, but if you can give them a model that they can hold in their hands, take apart, name the parts, put them back together.
Yeah.
I used to keep these on the counter in my classroom,
Ew.
and the kids could, like, if they had free time, they could go, they could pick one up, they could take it apart, they could quiz themselves. They're just a really good teaching tool, not just for you, the parent, to teach the kids, but for the kids to do some independent learning too.
just explore and mess around with it and find some interesting stuff. I've got a game. Let's see your game, Donna.
Okay, I have a stack of games here. And in our earlier video for social studies, we talked about Professor Noggin. Well, Professor Noggin is not
Versatile.
lacking in science either. These are all Professor Noggin games. This is the new packaging here in the middle. This is what the older packaging looked like. A lot of you already use those.
Yep.
They're a good supplement to whatever you're learning. They're topical. So like this one, for example, is Wildlife of North America. So anything that lives in our country, you're going to find out about there.
And it's a card game. It's question and answer.
And you can do it with 2, you can do it with 4, you can do it with mom and dad and 1 kid, you can do it with, you could do it by yourself. Just quiz yourself, read through the questions. There are questions at 3 different levels. There's a die that's included in there. These are actually recommended for 7 and up. I used them at about the 5th, 6th grade level. The kids loved them.
They're so fun.
Because they could run and grab a kit or the box, and they could dump it out. And I actually had a battle in my class one day over a group of girls I taught at a Christian school. A group of girls had grabbed the game that this little group of boys wanted, and the boys are like, she won't let us play the game. So we had to, I had to get more games.
Oh.
I didn't realize how popular they would be when I first started buying them, but huge hit because that you can do it on your own. You don't have to have a grown-up say, okay, now we're going to play a game.
Yeah.
And it's very self-explanatory. Good facts, though.
They are
Great
good.
facts.
Yeah.
So these are this is just a sampling.
There's a lot more topics too.
Oh my goodness, yes.
I've got an easy card game. It plays like war.
Oh, I like this game too.
Yep. Here, hold those for me, would you? These are top trumps, and if you've played war, high card wins. You
Yep.
take it's that simple. It's that simple. But they're topical and they've got facts on them. I have cats and dinosaurs. Donna's
And I have Who's the Best Hunter, Creatures of the Deep, and Planes.
These are inexpensive, ages 6 and up, 2 to 6 players. And again, for a single solo kiddo, they were just going to read them. They're just going to read them and look at the pictures because they're photo pictures.
Every card has facts on it
Yeah.
about whatever it is the picture is. And so you've got the picture, and then you've got this list of interesting facts, but they have number values. And so that's where the war part comes in. If my number value is higher than your number value, I just won.
Yep.
So collect those cards, and they are a lot of fun to play. I remember the year
fun.
we added these.
Aw.
These were such a big hit.
They're still a big hit. We take them to the conventions. And by the way, none of this material has any religious content. You know, Rainbow sells material with and without. Right now, we're selling to a lot of schools, and we know there's a sensitivity there to the religious content. So nothing we're showing in these videos is going to cause any issue. So some writing. Sometimes you want a little extra writing in science.
Well, a workbook to enhance, and a lot of times this is a go-to for parents because it's what they know. And that's exactly what these do. These books, 180 days, they literally are 180 days. So you have, and they're available for, I believe, K through 6.
Right.
And you may have seen these in 180 days of writing, 180 days of spelling,
Math.
180 of math. Science is no different. So I have one a day. So they're numbered out for you. You don't have to wonder, what am I supposed to do today? So they are labeled by the week and the day. They tell you what you're going to talk about. You read it, you answer the questions.
Very straightforward.
It doesn't take a lot of time. It's not topical. So that would be the one thing to keep in mind. It's not necessarily going to reinforce exactly what you're talking about in today's lesson or in this unit or whatever, but you could probably just use it as a random reinforcement. Don't let them forget what they already know just because they're not in school. These allow them to review what they already know and maybe learn something they haven't learned quite yet.
And you know, maybe your science teachers are focusing more on math and language arts right now. So this would be, or rather your teachers, not your science teachers. Maybe you need a little more science. And that's just an easy way. You know, we wanted to give you some variety.
Well, they're written to standards. They cover standards for a particular grade level.
And because we're in a short time period, you could totally pick and choose.
Oh, definitely.
You could cherry pick topics in that. You don't have to go front to back just because it's made that way.
Right.
So the last thing I've got, these are kind of like your pockets when we talked about history.
I like these too.
These are cool. So interactive notebooks are lap books. So the homeschoolers are probably going to know that term, lap books. But they do it a little bit differently. These are by grade level, and there's science, there's math, there's language arts, and you're using just a regular spiral notebook, but you're creating a resource and a reference tool to go back on. So this is going to be some cut and paste activities. You've got some grading rubrics, and then we get into the stuff. And when I say stuff, it's again cut and paste, nothing major. You're not having to find content. The
Right.
content's already in here, but you are cutting and folding and coloring. So your artsy kids might think this is fun. And in the end, you've got a product that your student has created for science, for grade 2. That's a neat little keepsake to hang on to, actually. And it's a tool. It's a learning tool. So they're learning as they're doing the activity, and then they're learning as they go back and look at it again as a reference. So
It's a
interactive
good review
notebooks.
before tests.
It is. And covers standards and
And I always like the stuff that makes them do something other than just write.
handle that information.
Exactly.
So I hope that's given you some really good ideas on science,
so.
you know, from the fun to the work to the card games, just so much variety of materials out there for you. And at a time when you can't go shopping and you can't go to the school store and you don't have access to what your teacher is using in the classroom, these materials can really bring your home learning time a little more to life.
I would agree with that. There's not a whole lot more to add except that stay safe as you stay in and take care of your family and take care of your kids, and this too shall pass.
And make the most of
Have
of
fun.
this time together. Yep, have a great time. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.